we're continuing our discussion on shotguns for self-defense. First shotgun we're going to shoot today is the 1187. This is the 1187 Premier. I am approximately 15 yards from our cardboard target down there, and what I'm going to do is fire really as fast as I can and get good hits on target. And what we're going to look at is what am I able to do with the gun at this distance. And again, shotgun, buckshot at this distance shouldn't be a big problem, but I still have to focus in on the fundamentals. Mainly my sight alignment, sight picture, and then, you know, how am I managing the gun. So we're going to do that here in just a minute. I'm actually going to also pull my timer out if I brought it today. And we'll see how we do in terms of getting hits on target 15 yards away with our shotgun. Okay, 15 yards away from our target down there. Got a timer. Here we go. Okay. Again, I'm aiming, doing deliberate hits, 5 shots in 5 seconds. Fine, not a problem. Able to get all of them in there. We'll take our camera down and take a look at our hits, but I think what you're going to see is they're pretty much in there, in that center mass area. Then we're going to do the same thing here in just a minute with some birdshot to give you a perspective on that. So here we are. We were shooting Remington Express buck, and you can see they're all pretty much in there across the board. I'm going to shoot the same distance now with the Remington 1187 with birdshot, 7.5 birdshot, and we'll see how we do. Again, longer distance, and we want to make sure that we understand that we're going to be able to get our hits in here. Let's try that now. Same drill, birdshot. Didn't eject. Downside of an autoloader. Okay, so you saw there, we had a failure to feed. Gun didn't totally eject. And that actually took me about 13 seconds. So one downside of an auto-loading gun is the fact that if you've got a malfunction, you're going to have to clear the malfunction. And I thought I had it cleared, but I had not actually punched the bottom to forward another round into the chamber there. Let's take a quick look down. So what you're seeing here is the advantage of birdshot, even though it was slower because we had that malfunction. But we've got birdshot across the entire area here. So not only here where the bulk of it is, but we've got some pellets up here, and then some of the pellets are outside of our target area. And this is where and why, if you're looking at a round that will not penetrate all the way through walls, 7.5 or 6 birdshot might be a good option for you. Okay folks, same drill. Target down there 15 yards. Start with the Remington Express buckshot. This is a pump. This is the Mossberg 500. So we're going to shoot this again as fast as we can, focusing on getting good hits. We'll run our timer and see what it looks like. Now, I am terrible, because of my hand and arm, manipulating the shotgun. So I'm not faulting the pump action for that. That really is just me and my physical limitation with my handicap. However, you can see that we were able to get hits in there reasonably fast. about 1 every 2 seconds. So that string took 15 seconds. But again, that's me, that's not the gun. But you can see versus an auto loader, I got to do a lot more work here. The downside is, depending on the ammunition, the auto loader may not function as we need it to, as we saw when we went to those lighter loads. No problem with the express buckshot. I had 5 rounds in under 5 seconds. But when we went to that lighter target load, the birdshot load, we did have some problems. So let's take a look at our target. Okay, so with our target here, we had a few pellets that went out, but the bulk of them are right in here. So we did achieve what we wanted to achieve with a few of the pellets going out. Again, I'm using a slug barrel for this gun because I wanted the shorter barrel for it. And we saw I had some challenges manipulating the gun, but again, most people have 2 good arms and don't have an issue. So good combat effective hits. We had a couple of misses with those pellets, but certainly would have done the job. Let's now do the same thing with our birdshot. We're going to do the same thing now with the birdshot. Forgive me and my less than perfect hand and arm, but we're just going to give it a run so you can see what it looks like. .74 is actually faster on that string than with the buckshot that we shot originally, and I think that's because I really missed it. It took me about 2.5 seconds on that first string with the buckshot because I didn't disengage my safety. So we're gonna get... Okay, so really big spread here, and this is why you have to test your gun and the spread and the shot pattern. We've got an awful lot of shot on the outside, but the bulk of it here is in here. We have our wads here that some of them made through the target. So what we know is with this gun at 15 yards, I'm starting with 7.5, this brand of Federal ammunition, I'm starting to get outside of the paper, outside of the target zone. The advantage of this birdshot, of course, is it's not going to penetrate through walls the same way that high velocity buckshot would. So from that standpoint, it has some real advantages. And I was able to get, again, decent, not super fast, but we have 9.74, and I believe my split times were right around about 2, somewhere around 1.8 to 2, so you know, not bad. For those of you who can keep the gun mounted, I'm sure it'd be significantly faster. So before I was talking about my need to mount or sort of dismount the gun, and that's because this arm is not long enough. Ideally what you do when you're running the shotgun is you're going to keep it up, right? And I have to actually bring the gun off my mount to work the action because my arm is not long enough, as we've talked about in the other video. That's just the way I was born, so be it. However, when we're shooting, and if you're shooting with the pump, I would recommend that you really work on just cycling that action while the gun is mounted. That will make you shoot much faster than I'm shooting. Last thing we're going to do is put just a few rounds through our over and under and give you a sense for what that looks like. I'm not fast at reloading this because I don't use that gun for self-defense purpose, but I will say that if you practice with an over and under and you really work on your reloads, you can go much faster than I'm going to go. Okay, last but not least, we've got our Ruger Red Label. I'm going to shoot. I am not a speed reloader, so you guys could all laugh at me. I'm sure you'll do much better than I am. I'm going to fire 2 rounds at our target. I'm going to grab from my pocket right here, going to dump 2 more shells in, come up and again be, just keep firing. I'm going to fire 6 rounds in total, and you'll watch me stumble and fumble, but this is why you need to practice with whichever gun, whichever platform you're going to use, you're going to bet your life on to protect yourself and your loved ones. Let's take a look. So I break the gun, right? Shells eject. I grab in my pocket, and they of course slid down just so they could show you how lame I am. Break the gun, rounds pop out, searching in my pocket, dumping them in. If I were in a defensive mode, I'd be moving to cover right now. So there you have it. Long time. Looks like 30 seconds, oh my God. But we blew out the center of our target. This gun is very accurate, does a great job. It's a nice skeet gun. So you can see how quickly that is. The last thing I'm going to show you with this gun is I'm going to fire 2 shots as fast as I can to show you how incredibly quick this is with the timer. And you'll see it's literally half a second between the trigger shots, the pulls itself. Okay, so we're just going to shoot this as fast as I can get hits. With our timer, I've got 2 rounds loaded. Here we go. So you could see fast, very quick hits. Basically the split time was 1/4 of a second. So if you think that this shotgun wouldn't be a good self-defense gun, you know, you might want to rethink that. Only downside is the capacity, your ability to continue to feed rounds in it and fire rounds downrange quickly and effectively. So in summary, what I would say is we looked at a bunch of 3 different shotguns today. All of them have uses and all of them could be used for a self-defense standpoint. My primary one that I use is the 1187, the auto-loading shotgun, because I can shoot it faster. You saw, and I wanted to actually demonstrate that to you, that depending on the ammunition, it will not always cycle, and that's why many people prefer pumps. If my arm, my left arm, worked effectively and was the full length of my other one, and I could rotate and do that other stuff, I'd probably use a pump just because it is so reliable and durable. And if you practice and keep the gun mounted, you absolutely can shoot it extremely quickly. Both the guns that I showed you before have a total of 5 round capacity. So 1 in the magazine, 4 in the pipe. You can get extensions for the Remington to add additional capacity. However, again, with a defensive tool, you want to really think through, how am I going to use it? Where am I going to use it? What kind of round capacity do I need? Do I want more than 7 rounds in the gun? And am I going to be able to defend myself if there are multiple attackers with only 7 rounds? Maybe, maybe not. That's why for many of us, a carbine or a long gun with a larger capacity magazine is more effective for self-defense. In spite of what those that don't believe in the Second Amendment say, a high-capacity magazine in an AR or a carbine-style rifle is a very effective self-defense tool. And as we saw with the Korean shopkeepers in 1992, they effectively used those tools to defend themselves and their property. So go out there and vote. Make sure you call your senator, you call the president, you call your state representative and say no more gun laws. Stop them. Use the ones on the books. Well, as always, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Please invite folks to subscribe to the channel. Click the like box in the left-hand side of the screen right down there. There's a little thumbs up arrow. Appreciate if you do that. And as we always say, make sure you stay safe.